So I present to you now Mr. Ron White.
Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first I represent and the owner of Entertainment Services. And we do lighting, sound, projection screens, pipe and drape, you know, the gamut of things for different events, parties, weddings, etc. So today what I'm going to do is just show you briefly what can be done with Uplights. And that's what these are here. You know, like you can change the colors and do different things with them. And the reason, one of the reasons we call them Uplights is because typically they're sit in a corner like this or along the walls and they just shine up. But they can be used on stage. In fact, these very lights I use for different concerts, believe it or not, because they're very bright. In fact, that's the reason I'm pointing this one up. But as you can see, these are pretty bright. These are LEDs. Much different from incandescent lights. No heat, which is great because when you're trying to get a bright light in an area, normally the incandescents generate a lot of heat, which is a fire hazard and all kinds of other challenges with the heat. So LEDs are great. It's kind of obviously a fairly new technology. So again, Uplights. This is a box that what we call a DMX controller. It changes all the colors. We can do different things with it. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but believe it or not, this room has very little power in it. So what I have here is these lights. This one's not a good example, but there's no wire on this. So you're probably wondering, well, how is that working? There's no power cord. There's no wire to change the colors. Well, it's done via wireless, and those are my more extravagant, complicated, nicer lights for, like I said, larger events, for larger rooms. What's nice about that is if I've got pillars and things I need to light up, those are the kind of lights I'll use, you know, because I don't want cables running all around that pillar and I don't want people tripping over them, that kind of thing. But I can use a wire, in a lot of cases I do. In fact, most cases I do, because unfortunately, wireless isn't always all that reliable when you get beyond 100 or 150 or more feet. So I know it's kind of technical and all that, but I just want to give you an idea of what can be done with these lights. So I also put these on things that are called trusses. So if you look at a stage and you'll see these huge aluminum structures on each side of the stage, sometimes you'll see speakers mounted on those. Well, also you'll see lights like these. They don't have to be this shape. They might even do different colors than these do, but they're basically the same type of light. It's just a light that lights up the stage and gives you an idea, you know, gives you some mood setting, if you may, with regard to that stage look, if that makes sense. So, how am I doing on time?
7 minutes.
Okay, so that's really kind of it on the lighting. I do want to give everybody a quick chance. So let me just, I want to give you a quick idea on what can be done here. So again, this is a DMX controller. I can program it to actually change the speed in which the lights change. I can actually change the color on each of the lights as far as assigning a specific program to make it run through whatever those colors are. And then I can also do a sound activated. So I can now, whoops, okay, that didn't work. What I was trying to, there it goes. I'm trying to do here is show the, yeah. So I can assign, the box to tell the lights to go with whatever music we're playing. So just a real simple setup. Again, I wouldn't be using this for the party, but I just wanted to give you an idea. It is sound activated. But believe it or not, I actually do use these for the for booths and things that I set up if I want a little bit of music in a small area. So let me get to the questions. I know there are a lot of questions. I don't want to miss them. Someone asked me, what's the maximum size of event we can do? We do events 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 people outside. Weddings typically, most weddings are around 100 or 200, but normally, you know, we get some larger events that are 500 and 600 people. Can we consult household lighting? Yes. In fact, I just did a house out in Lancaster a couple of weeks ago. Guy wanted lighting outside and inside. How do we use lighting? Can a client use lighting materials to make their logo? Yes, we actually do that with lights called gobo lighting. We can put the gobo in the light and project it on a wall, on a building, on the floor, whatever you want. That's pretty straightforward. In fact, we do a lot of that for weddings, monograms, we use a lot of those. What's your favorite or least thing about the industry? Unfortunately, there are some people out there and companies out there that are not all that honest about what they do. And a lot of times, unfortunately, they'll hire you, or they'll allow you to hire them, and then maybe not be so forthcoming about what the challenges might be. I like to make people comfortable with what it is they're getting and understand what they're getting. So I'll spend a lot of time talking to them about it to make sure whatever questions they may have, I answer them so they fully understand what they're getting into when they're having their event. What's the ideal client? Ideal client is a client that knows exactly what they want. They have a feel for what that cost may be and appreciate the work that's behind getting that done, because there's a lot that goes on before we even get on site for an event. How long have we been doing this? I've been doing this under entertainment services for about 10 years. My background has always been electronics, computer work. In fact, I used to work in the computer industry for about 20 years. I've always been interested in technology, so sound, lighting. I've been building lights and speakers for years. And believe it or not, when I say years, I mean back before I was in college. I won't give a number. Do I know people that fix speakers? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you build a subwoofer?
Yeah. I used to do that. I've built speakers, speaker cabinets, but yeah, we can make subs. That's not my core business, but I have done that. Yeah.
But could you instruct somebody on how to build?
Yeah, sure. Nope, not a problem. Yep.
I see connection being made here.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
What else? Can we fix speakers? Yes. Obviously, we can build and fix them. That must have been your question, huh?
No, it wasn't.
Or was it?
I didn't realize you had that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do I have a particular function service I prefer? My background has primarily been in sound, but I enjoy lighting too. Like I said, when I was a kid, you know, I used to build different cabinets for lights as well. I used to do really weird stuff when I was in college. But yeah, that's probably my first and foremost love is music. But like I said, I enjoy the other things too. And then, can I make a backyard look larger for an event? Well, I can't do magic, but I can I can help make it. There are some things that can be done to make a yard look bigger. Putting lighting further back in the yard gives it a little more depth. So you get this feel when you walk in that, oh man, this really looks great. And that's an effect I typically want to get, is have people walk in and say, wow, we're at a special event. This is something that's going to really be nice. So whether it's the yard or a room or even buildings, you know, that's our goal, is to make people feel like this is something special. One more. So, okay. All right, I want to open it up to questions, because I know there's probably a lot. Yeah.
From inception to execution, is there a sweet spot of time you'd like to have to plan around an event?
That depends on the event, but I mean, believe it or not, I've had people call me on a Monday for a wedding on that following Saturday. Wow. And I'm talking DJ, lights, the whole bit. So, having said that, but ideally, if it's a couple of months, again, it depends on the event. If somebody's having a backyard party and they just need some sound for the backyard, you know, you can call me the day before, that's not a problem. You know, as long as I have the equipment available, it's not being used somewhere else, that's not an issue. But as far as planning a larger event, like a corporate event or a sales, you know, meeting or something like that, where there's several hundred people involved in a fairly large venue, then yeah, I'd prefer at least 30 days. So, but again, If most of my events unfortunately don't give me that amount of time, unless it's a hotel. Sometimes the hotels do work with me and give me the time that I'm looking for. Anything else?
Is that you playing bass on that track?
No, not quite. I did, that's one thing I did do in high school though, when I got out, was I recorded my first album coming out of high school. Yep.
Nice.
Excellent.
Anything? Yep.